WWE. Evolution. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Evolution has been in the news for all the wrong reasons this week. And what I am about to show you is A, horrendous, B, contains spoilers. So, if you guys do not want spoilers, or you don't want anything for Evolution or NXT UK or the Mae Young Classic to be ruined for you, then please shut the video off or fast forward several minutes until you get to a part where it contains no spoilers. But what I'm about to show you guys right now is, more importantly, horrendous. And there is some good. Mostly bad, but there is some good. But WWE clearly is on the verge of having a shitstorm in Long Island, New York on October 28th. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the supposed Evolution pay-per-view match card. Let's run this over. Let's go over this and dissect this thing the way we can right here on Off the Script. 10/28, 6:30 p.m. Evolution, Nassau Coliseum, Uniondale, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the one thing that stands out to you on this piece of paper almost immediately? To me, it jumps off the page. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to see an all-women's pay-per-view with 14 fucking matches. That's right off the bat. That's before we get into the batter's box. We're getting ready. We're taking our practice swings. We're on deck. I don't want to see 14 fucking matches anywhere. I don't want to see it with the men. Most certainly with the state of the women's division, I don't want to see 14 women's matches on Evolution or on pay-per-view. I don't. That right there jumps off the page more so than anything else. Number 1, Rhea Ripley, Ginny versus Killer Kelly versus Dakota Kai. Fatal 4-way for the NXT Women's Championship. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Fantastic. Is it going to be an NXT-like production match-wise? I can only hope so. Being that this is mixed in with the main roster, you'll probably have some of those main roster agents fucking this shit up. I can only hope the people that are in charge of these women are in charge of them for this show. I have no problem with that whatsoever. That could be a match that ultimately steals the show. So, right off the bat, number 1, we're off to the races. We're off to a good start. Some type of special announcement is going to be made. Now, I made mention of this, I forgot where, because my mind has been all over the fucking place this week, that WWE is already talking about having Evolution become a yearly pay-per-view for the women. I don't know what other special announcement there could be, but that could very well be it. And I don't understand WWE's logic in wanting to do this every year. They can barely get through week to week with the women's division, and they haven't even began to announce the full card for this show. They don't know how well this show is going to be received for it to be wanted for a second year, and a third year, fourth, fifth, sixth, so on and so forth. Special announcement. So I'm assuming that is going to be the special announcement. Evolution is going to be a yearly WWE pay-per-view extravaganza. Number 3 sounds completely fucking terrible. I don't want to see Carmella in the ring, period, let alone on a fucking talk show. Carmella talk show with the ladies of Glow. Please. Blindfold me and lead me to a fucking bridge somewhere. Number 4. The Riot Squad versus Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Ivory. Ladies and gentlemen, how sad is it that Sasha Banks, a proverbial leader of the women's evolution, or the women's revolution, along with Bayley, how sad is it that Sasha Banks and Bayley have been downgraded to be feuding with the Riot Squad every single week? This is not an exaggeration. This is not me just stating something for the sake of a laugh or me embellishing something. The Riot Squad and Banks Bayley have honestly had a match almost every single week throughout the entire summer, and we are about to see it again at Evolution. But the only little twist here is that Ivory, the addition of Ivory in WWE's minds, are going to pretty much give you a sense of difference. How is it different by adding Ivory, when the main aspect of these matches we've seen all summer? I don't care. Sasha Banks should be in a high-profile match. If you cared at all about what Sasha and Bayley did, instead of just putting it in video packages and using it as fuel to fucking spread your agenda, you ultimately killed both women who were once a part of this flourishing division. You killed both women coming out of their match at TakeOver Brooklyn 1 4 years ago. Dead. Sasha Banks should be in a match with Lita. Sasha Banks should be in a match with Trish Stratus. Throw all the money you need at AJ Lee. Sasha Banks should be in a match with AJ Lee. Someone of notoriety. Someone of prestige. Someone who could actually fucking wrestle them. I don't know. But instead we get Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus. I wonder why. Number 4 is completely fucking awful. Absolutely awful. This is why I told you guys to click off the video if you were afraid of spoilers. This was already spoiled for me weeks ago, so. And the reason why this was spoiled is not because of anyone in particular, believe it or not. Because the websites that I go to for news did not put spoiler in the title, and I accidentally clicked on something having to do with Evolution, and there you go. Staring at me right in the face was this. Mae Young Classic final, Toni Storm versus Io Shirai. And this may be the match of the night. This may be match of the night. So like I said, there is good, yet there is bad. A lot bad. This is one of the bright spots of the show, no question. There is a 20-woman battle royal. Winner faces Kairi Sane for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, this doesn't make any sense to me outside of the fact that WWE is using these obligatory battle royals, these useless battle royals, to get everybody on the show. And I don't really like that aspect. I would like it to be concise. I would like it to be well orchestrated. I don't want to throw women on a show for the sake of throwing women on a show. I want it to make sense. So, one of two things is happening here. A, Shayna Baszler is getting her match with Kairi Sane before this event, or they're saving it for War Games. Or the other one is Shayna Baszler would have already gotten her rematch on NXT TV in the next set of tapings, and then Bianca Belair wins the Battle Royal and faces Kairi Sane and beats Kairi Sane for the Women's Championship. Those are the only things that I could come up with there. But Number 6 is an obligatory battle royal. You know, women's battle royals don't really suit me. They're not my cup of coffee. They're not. But I guess if Bianca Belair is the one to win here, and she goes on to face Kairi Sane, we could be looking at yet another match. So I want you guys to keep track of what's going on so far. Everything that we've seen up until number 6, if I'm assuming an NXT talent is going to win it, because Kairi Sane is in NXT and she's the NXT Women's Champion, I'm going with Bianca Belair. Up till number 6 right now, everything on this show that is a thumbs up is NXT. And that is not by coincidence, people. Everything on this show so far is NXT. And all the bad is WWE main roster. Do you find that to be bizarre? I don't. I don't at all. Moving on. Number 7. Asuka versus Ember Moon. I love it. I think it's great. Both women have nothing to do. Put both women in a match because each other, Ember Moon and Asuka, they were both each other's greatest rival before they came to the main roster. So it would make sense just based off that. Asuka looking for revenge on Ember Moon. Ember Moon took the title from Asuka. Both women have nothing to do, like I said. I don't mind that. The only thing I don't like is that the match really isn't for anything. And both women are on different brands. Where's the brand split? You're killing the brand split integrity here with Asuka and Ember Moon. Ember Moon's on Raw, Asuka's on SmackDown. Or maybe, due to this show, those aspects don't really mean anything. But again, you know, you could look at this and say, well, maybe this is fake just based off that. Possibly. I don't mind the match. They're fighting over nothing. They're fighting for nothing. And both of them are on different brands. So you be the judge on that. Outside of that, the idea of Asuka and Ember Moon is very good to me. Because in 2017, they, without question, had the best women's match of the year. And I'm going to make a few people salty with this next statement. I honestly think Asuka and Ember Moon was a better match than Bayley Sasha Banks at the first TakeOver. Don't at me. Moving on. Now, this one would probably have WWE go out there and use their negotiation skills because I haven't heard anything of the sorts here. But number 8 states Naomi is going one-on-one with Melina. Now, I don't really care for that. That's one of those half-assed, quote-unquote, dream matches to the fucking plebeians out there. I mean, I could do much better with Naomi instead of putting her with Melina. So, I don't really give a shit about that. You know, the best thing about this match, I love Naomi. I think Naomi's great. I haven't seen Melina wrestle in years. The best thing about this match, and I don't want to come off as a dick, is Naomi's entrance and Melina's entrance. Simple as that. Other than that, I don't care about that match at all. It makes no sense to me, and I haven't heard anything of Melina being, I guess, courted by WWE for Evolution. So that's news to me. Again, just like number 7, with Asuka and Ember Moon being on different brands, number 8 could also lend some evidence to possibly this card being fake. So we'll see what happens with that. We're still about 7 weeks out from the Evolution pay-per-view. Number 9, Mickie James versus Lita. This is ass backwards. Okay, you got 2 Hall of Famers in the ring. That's great. That's great. Lita, I really haven't seen in a legit match at all since she's been kind of in and out of WWE with these sporadic appearances. She hasn't had a full-blown match. She was in the Royal Rumble. She did her Lita-esque spots, but she didn't really showcase to us that she can go 10, 15 minutes in a legit match. Lita wasn't really all that great of a wrestler anyway. She was what Matt Hardy calls a proverbial spot monkey. I was never big on Lita. I actually enjoyed Lita more when she was with Edge than when she was by herself wrestling, becoming multi-time Divas Champion or Women's Champion. So, to me, this match offers no excitement whatsoever. In fact, WWE, instead of using their creativity for this, Mickie James, realistically, could be going one-on-one with Trish Stratus. If you're going to put Mickie James in a match with another legend, it would make sense for her to be in the ring with Trish Stratus. I don't know why WWE didn't think of that bright idea. I don't know where they're getting Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus as some sort of dream match. Mickie James and Trish Stratus, the only women that should have been in contention for a match with Trish Stratus should have been Mickie James, based on their history, or Sasha Banks. Because there was a little instance in the Royal Rumble where Sasha Banks and Trish Stratus had a little go, and Trish Stratus mocked Sasha Banks' boss pose, and I do believe Sasha Banks eliminated Trish Stratus from the Royal Rumble. So I think those two women would have been far better choices than Alexa Bliss. But you Alexa Bliss cronies, you Alexa Bliss clowns, superfans, degenerates are going to boast, "Oh, look at Alexa, she got the match with Trish Stratus. Sasha Banks sucks, man." Meanwhile, Alexa Bliss is doing more than just sucking. And I don't mean that in the ring. That's how she got that match. I'm sure of that. And maybe this is why I didn't get invited down to the Performance Center. Because of the things that I say. Tough shit. Mickie James versus Lita. Ridiculous. I have no interest in that match whatsoever. If you wanted someone to go against Lita, I'm tired of WWE overlooking the ripe talent that is in the women's division. Ember Moon, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Ruby Riot. I mean, I don't understand how you look at the women's roster. If you're bringing in Lita, who on this roster could go one-on-one with Lita and make it a great match? Ruby Riot? Nah. I don't think that's great at all. That's what they're thinking. You see, to me, Ruby Riot would have been 100% the perfect opponent for Lita. But yet to the goons, they don't see how great that match could be. I think that would be great. And Ruby Riot deserves a shot one-on-one away from the Riot Squad. Ruby Riot deserves a spot on her own. What better way than beating Lita? Then you could put Mickie with Trish. And you could have given Sasha Banks anything else on this show. You could have did a surprise with number 10. Sasha Banks could have won the fucking Battle Royal and went one-on-one with Kairi Sane. I don't know why you wouldn't explore that option. Or maybe, if you guys have been paying attention to the Mae Young Classic like I have been, Meiko Satomura versus Killer Kelly was the best match so far through 2 episodes. Sasha Banks made a comment on Twitter to Meiko Satomura that she would love to take up Meiko on the challenge. Meiko challenged Sasha Banks. Or Sasha Banks, I think it was the other way around. Sasha Banks challenged Meiko Satomura, and Meiko said, "I would love to fight you someday." Now, Meiko's not known to the WWE. She's not known to the casuals, to the fucking idiot out there who doesn't watch the Mae Young Classic, who is pretty much, I guess, harming themselves from good wrestling. Or hiding themselves from good wrestling. And harming their wrestling knowledge by not expanding. Why not Sasha Banks versus Meiko Satomura? Either one of those 2 options are great if you can't bring in AJ Lee. I like that a lot. See, this is where my creativity is coming into play, man. Kairi Sane versus Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks again competing for the NXT Championship. Even if she don't win, I think she would love that opportunity. And I tried to mix up, I almost accidentally mixed up love and like there. I'd love to see it. I don't know why WWE can't be creative with this fucking show. And again, up until this point, the best things on this match card, supposedly, quote-unquote match card, is NXT. Or those who have been in NXT. a.k.a. Asuka and Ember Moon, if that is a real match. Number 11, Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus. I don't care. Alexa Bliss can't wrestle, and you put her in the ring with someone who can legitimately wrestle. I don't see what sense that makes. This match, I am telling you right now, 100% is a political debacle. That's all it is. This is a political-driven agenda. Someone in WWE loves Alexa Bliss. And they are doing everything to accommodate Alexa Bliss for whatever reason. This match makes no sense. This is not a match that you would announce first out of everything else to sell tickets for this show. I am not buying tickets to this show if I am in Long Island to watch Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus. I'm not. I don't care. I don't care. Number 12 may be one of the worst things on the entire show. Alicia Fox and Kelly Kelly. Hang me now if I have to watch Kelly Kelly in a WWE ring. Alicia Fox and Kelly Kelly versus the Iconics, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, versus Beth Phoenix and Natalya. And apparently this one is coined as the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. So, let's break this down. Number one, it looks like this will be spread across all brands. All brands. We got Alicia Fox, who's on Raw. Kelly Kelly, who is I guess, to WWE. I don't see how. It's kind of embarrassing to use this word with Kelly Kelly, but WWE seems to think so. A legend? What is so legendary that she's done? Alicia Fox and Kelly Kelly versus Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. There's that commission check that Dave Meltzer should be owed, Miss Royce. So there you go. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. SmackDown Live. Same thing with the Iconics. SmackDown Live. And Natalya on Raw with Beth Phoenix. Now, a few things stand out here. A, it's awful. B, it's spread across all brands. So that rumor of them actually revolving the championships from both brands seems to be true. Number 3, Beth Phoenix and Natalya. It's interesting that they have that pairing because they had a little back and forth in the Royal Rumble themselves. So it's odd to see them paired here for the Tag Team Championships. And number 4, this one is overly predictable. Who the fuck is going to win this match? I am putting my money not on Alicia Fox or anything to do with Alicia Fox. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay? Nope. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville? Nope. Beth Phoenix and Natalya? Kind of seems a little predictable that you'd have these two in the match and not give them the Women's Championship. Natalya probably, doing a favor for WWE, and they'll probably use her father's death as some consolation to give her some tag team championship gold because her father was part of one of the greatest tag teams of all time. I don't need to continue on or say more. Now, if WWE was smart, they'd actually fill this fatal four-way with teams that are legit teams. Again, you could put Sasha and Bayley in here. You could put the Bellas. You could put the Iconics. You could put Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. I don't see why this match is filled with teams who have nothing to do with one another. And this is the issue with the Tag Team Championships being introduced to the women's division. There's too many teams that are going to be paired together randomly and, for the sake of tag teams, have the title tag team. I don't care. If you're going to do tag team titles, you better be a fucking functioning tag team. You better look the same. You better have matching outfits. You better be a pairing. You better be a pairing. This is like me pairing Dana Brooke and Bayley for the Tag Team Championships. Neither women have anything to do with one another, and it's an oddball pairing. It's ridiculous. If I'm booking this match, I'm giving this win to Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. But that's just me. But based off what I just told you with Natalya, I don't see Natalya and Beth Phoenix losing this match. Then does that mean Beth Phoenix is coming out of retirement? Just for the sake of the Tag Team Championships to be called first time ever Tag Team Champions for WWE in the women's division? It's going to be interesting to see. Again, nobody knows if this is true or not, but to me, that match sounds awful. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. I knew this was going to happen. This is why I stated on yesterday's podcast that I don't see Becky Lynch winning this. Actually, I don't see Becky Lynch winning the match at Hell in a Cell, and I don't see Becky Lynch winning in Australia. This is where Becky Lynch wins the championship. This is where Becky Lynch wins the SmackDown Live Women's Championship. So I am okay with that. Again, the only thing main roster-wise that I actually have an interest in. And finally, guys, our nightmares are becoming a reality. Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. I am going to lay it out right here, right now, and I'm sure this will not be the only time I mention this. This is nothing but a political agenda, just like everything else with this fucking division. And this is nothing more than building a reality TV star to build hype for the upcoming season. I believe it's the 8th or 9th season. Don't know how, of that reality TV trash. The 8th or 9th season will begin in October for Total Divas. So, you're using Ronda Rousey in the main event of Evolution because she's Ronda Rousey. I get that. She's got the most name notoriety out of everybody else on this show. But is Ronda Rousey a part of the women's revolution? She may be by name, but what has she done in WWE? What has she done in WWE that she is more deserving than a Sasha Banks or an Asuka or anybody else that started this fucking thing, a Becky Lynch, even Charlotte? Even though I think Charlotte is the Roman Reigns of the women's division, even Charlotte. What do you think Sasha Banks and everybody else that started this fucking thing down in NXT is thinking that they don't have an opportunity and will never have an opportunity to main event Evolution because of names like Ronda Rousey? On one hand, it looks great. It's great PR for WWE. It gets WWE in the spotlight. On the other hand, it sucks for the fucking talent who actually legitimately built this fucking evolution or revolution for WWE. Nikki Bella is used in this match simply to build hype for Total Divas. How embarrassing is that? How embarrassing. Instead of going with a legit match for this pay-per-view, instead of actually building the main event for this show to be the 4 Horsewomen versus the 4 Horsewomen and really make it memorable, or having Sasha Banks in the main event against Bayley for the Women's Championship, or Ronda Rousey versus Asuka for the Women's Championship. Why? Why is this nothing more than a political fucking agenda that WWE is trying to make into a big deal, yet everything on this show, legitimately everything on this show that has to do with the main roster is embarrassingly fucking bad and nauseating. And everything that has to do with NXT on this show is, I can't wait to see it. Or, we have a vested interest in everything NXT on this show. I just don't understand this. This match card is completely fucking terrible. Outside of NXT and Mae Young Classic stuff, this match is absolutely fucking terrible. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that this is the full card. It's embarrassing that Nikki Bella is in the fucking main event when A, she has nothing to do with the women's division. B, how is she going to have a legit match against Ronda Rousey? A legit fighter against a reality TV star. who cares nothing about wrestling outside of the fact that she's married to John Cena. Or the fact that she just kind of walked in to the women's evolution. The only reason why she's even mentioned in the same breath as Evolution and Revolution is because AJ Lee buried everybody from the previous era. An era that Nikki Bella and her sister were a part of. Nikki Bella cares more for Versace dresses and $6,000 handbags and fucking mountains of makeup. More so than she does the women's evolution. Put on the fake smile. Smile for the fucking camera. Get all dolled up. For what? For what? To close the show in the most embarrassing fucking way. This revolution is nothing but a fucking disgrace. WWE have abandoned everything that made this revolution special. It was special in NXT, and then WWE, as soon as it hit the main roster and the mainstream, it devalued fucking everything. And everybody that was once important, everybody that started this thing, is now pushed to the side for reality TV and the bigger name. WWE used Sasha Banks and Bayley, and now, since they have no use for them anymore, shove them to the side. Oh, we don't need you anymore. And if you don't agree with what I'm saying here, suck my dick. I don't care. Everything I said is absolutely 100% legit. Legit. I found out something for a follow-up. Everything that I just mentioned to you has been debunked. Everything that I just mentioned to you has been debunked. A leaked card that you just seen has been spread on social media this week. I didn't report this until now because I wanted to wait to see what people were saying, and I wanted to see if anybody would have a follow-up. There was indeed a follow-up. Now, some of the things on that card are good. Most of it is bad. Some of it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like I said, some of the matches are common sense. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair, a battle royal to get everybody involved, the obligatory battle royal. Other superstars that are not currently scheduled for the show will be in the battle royal. NXT superstars, Aaliyah, and maybe somebody else, Bianca Belair, Shayna Baszler maybe, etc., etc. Now, there were sources that have been told WWE has not reached out to anybody for this show. So meaning AJ Lee and Melina. So those rumors started last weekend when Naomi said in an interview that she would love to wrestle Melina at Evolution, and Melina obviously retweeted her and tweeted her back and welcomed that idea. So this leaked match card, as of right now, is not real. WWE management has an idea, apparently, of what they want for the show, but several of the matches for the show have yet to be finalized. The only thing that is confirmed for this show are the NXT UK finals, the Mae Young Classic finals, Alexa Bliss versus Trish Stratus, and Mickie James versus Lita. That is it. And the fact that the Raw Women's Championship and the SmackDown Live Women's Championships will be defended. That is it. Everything else, as of right now, take with a very, very, very small pinch of salt. Everything that I stated before this rumor killer, this debunking, I still stand behind. If WWE needs Evolution to go off as a 100% success, this needs to be booked carefully and in the same manner you would book an NXT TakeOver. As soon as I start seeing some main roster nauseating garbage, I'm done. You talk about wanting this for a second year, I'm not going to want to get through half of year one. Evolution could be so great. It could be a true celebration of women's wrestling. And knowing WWE, they will shit all over who made this revolution important, who brought this revolution to the eyes of many, and they will soil it with nothing but mainstream fucking political garbage. How can anyone get behind that? I know I can't. And I will refuse to sit here and sucker up to some fucking bullshit just because everybody else is doing it. This is Off the Script, part 2 for episode 239. Man, I love that fucking opening. Jesus Christ, I feel good. Let's get this show on the road, man. Ton of news and rumors on this Hell in a Cell weekend, and I'll see you guys in just a little bit after the introduction. Off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth.
And I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese.
I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not.
WWE is great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Kenny Omega, Okada. Delete! What is it, man? Can I suck your dick? What is it, man?
And this is the #1 fucking podcast.
Right here on YouTube.com!
This is Off the Script. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on yet another rendition of Off the Script. This is episode 239, part number 2 for your Hell in a Cell weekend. A weekend that I'm sure many of you was not this weekend. Or a weekend that you guys just don't care about and know that it's coming and know to expect it. Just like me. I forgot, and then when I remembered, I just don't care. But we covered Hell in a Cell in its entirety, in depth, on yesterday's podcast. If you guys missed that, please go back and check it out. Link will be in the annotation that you see in the top right corner of your screen. We break down everything. I even got some news and rumors to accompany most of those matches for you guys on yesterday's show. So please go and check that out. And we have a lofty goal of 1,500 thumbs up every video. That is the goal. I don't want to hear any ifs, ands, or buts. I don't ask much of you guys at all. I sit here for hours upon hours upon hours every weekend giving you guys the news and rumors and my thoughts on this shit product. So if all I'm asking is for you to hit that little blue thumb, please do so, man. It helps out the channel. It helps out the video. Believe me, it does. Because I can see when Monday Night Raw is getting 50,000, you guys are smashing that thumbs up 2,500 different times. Let's do the same thing for Off the Script, man. Thank you guys so very much. Also, hit that subscribe button, being that I just mentioned it. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for all notifications, and please turn on all notifications so that you guys are aware of when I upload. If that doesn't work, follow me on Twitter. You guys will always be up to date on the channel on Twitter, at JD from NY206. Please do that, man. We are nearing almost 24,000 followers on social media. I got a lot of news today, man. I'm going to break this up. I am going to go right into the news. Then I'm going to do my little plugs in the middle, and then go right back to the news. I'm breaking it up this week because I got so much news. I want to get to most of it because tomorrow is Hell in a Cell, and I don't think there is going to be a podcast on Sunday. I think I'm going to save it for Monday. So if you guys are okay with that, thank you. If not, I don't give a shit because I don't want to upload a hour and a half Off the Script and then, at its normal time. I want to let it breathe from this one to the next one. I don't want to upload something like 3 or 4 hours before Hell in a Cell, and then I got to be right back here covering Hell in a Cell that same night. So I don't think I'm going to upload the podcast on Sunday, and I will just wait to do part 3 on Monday. But we're going to break it up. We're going to go right into the news. We're going to hit the plugs in the middle, and then we're going to end it with some more news to round off this episode, part 239 of Off the Script. I want to continue on with what I'm talking about here, man, with Evolution. I did find the news article, or there was a news article about Melina being contacted by WWE. Apparently, WWE has been in contact with Melina for Evolution. Melina might have been a surprising name to be featured on the leaked edition of the Evolution card, but it turns out that there could be a reason for that, and WWE might just be penciling her name in on the assumption they will be able to close a deal by October. She captured the Divas title twice and the women's title 3 times during her run with the company, and maybe she has more left in the tank. Now, Barn Burners Fired Up Podcast said that Melina's return to pro wrestling in winning a title last week in Australia means that WWE could be following soon for a return for Evolution. They say, and I quote, "You mentioned Melina. They are in contact with Melina, who, by the way, won a title in Australia last week. She has been impressive, and they may look for her to not only come in for a one-time only deal, but sign a short-term deal with the WWE." End quote. Only time will tell if Melina will make her return or how impactful she will be. But since she was kind of snubbed on Raw 25 and for the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, maybe this would be a good thing to have her back for a short stint so we can see what she has left in the tank. It will also be cool to watch her enjoy the WWE Women's Revolution firsthand, and it's going to be great for all of us to see that lovely, beautiful, gorgeous ring entrance one more time. So, they have been in contact with Melina. I was never a big fan of Melina, but apparently she's back to doing wrestling, and she's won a title in Australia last week, according to these guys of the Barn Burner Fired Up Podcast. You know, maybe I didn't pay too much attention to Melina back in the day. And maybe, you know, that I'm a little older, a little wiser, I'll pay a little bit more attention to what she does in the squared circle. And it would definitely be fun to see her wrestle the likes of, you know, like a Naomi that was rumored on that leaked match card, or a Sasha Banks, or an Ember Moon. Someone with legit talent, and not someone who's in a bra and panties match, you know. But I think it's great for the Evolution, having her back on WWE television. You know, it's not really all that exciting because, as you see, look at what they did with Mickie James. You know, Mickie James, we were all excited about Mickie James coming back to the WWE. Oh my God, Mickie James is coming back. They put her in the ring with Asuka, take over Toronto, and she signed a deal, and there was a mystery attacker revealed with Alexa Bliss, and that mystery attacker ended up being Mickie James. I thought, wow, look at this. They got a great storyline for her. She's back on television. She looks great. What happened? She has been absolutely withered away to nothing but a lackey. A future Hall of Famer, a multi-time, 6-time women's champion, withered away to nothing and being someone's fucking baggage handler. Mickie James deserves better than that, if you ask me. And I don't know how anybody could get excited about Melina's comeback, or a Melina comeback, if she does come back to the WWE, and think that they are going to do anything with her. Just look at Mickie James. That's the only evidence you need for these returning divas. Or women. I'm not excited about it whatsoever. One-time deal. Hello, goodbye, see you later. We'll call you if we need you. They got plenty of women that they could promote from NXT, that they have in NXT UK, that they're probably going to sign from the Mae Young Classic. I think the last thing that you want to do is bring in Melina, taking another spot away from somebody who truly deserves it. That's just my honest opinion on that. Also, following up with a story we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, I'm going to dead this story right now because I knew this was in effect. Dave Meltzer just confirmed my senses and my intuitions. Pentagon and Phoenix will not, this is going to make some people very happy. Pentagon and Phoenix will not be joining the WWE anytime soon. There has been a lot of talk about Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix, especially in the last few months. The Lucha Brothers have lit up MLW, Impact, Lucha Underground, but some fans, including those in WWE, would have loved to seen them in NXT. But apparently that is not going to happen as of right now. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that there have been talks backstage regarding bringing in the two popular luchadors, but due to their Lucha Underground contracts, they can't make it happen. After all, they are locked into a multi-season deal with Lucha Underground. I knew that was probably in effect. I wasn't completely sure because going into season 4, I thought Lucha Underground kind of turned over a new leaf and didn't lock up guys like that because they're filmed so far in advance and we don't know when season 5 is going to be. So that's just my opinion on that. By the way, I don't know if he's watching. Famous B, I know you tweeted me, bro. I'm all over the fucking place. Famous B tweeted me or DM'd me that he does watch the show and that he's a fan of what I do here. Thank you so much, my friend. I greatly appreciate it. I'd love to work with you sometime soon. Just give me a shout out. Maybe I get you in House of Glory, man. We could certainly use your services for sure. Someone with charisma and talent like you, I'm sure we'll find a great place for you in House of Glory. But speaking of Lucha Underground also, I have not watched much of this season. I watched like the first 3 episodes and then I just kind of fell off. I don't know what it is. You know, I really miss the days of Matanza wrecking havoc in Lucha Underground. Man, was that a great fucking character. Holy shit. You know, I know Solomonster mentioned, Matanza being his favorite debut outside of Kane in the first ever Hell in a Cell, where he ripped the fucking door off and tombstoned The Undertaker right then and there. Matanza is fucking great. Man, Jeff Cobb is so fucking awesome. Man, he plays that character brilliantly. Maybe I should start catching up on Lucha Underground. I'd love to, my intent with Lucha Underground was to actually cover it on their show and give you guys like a 10-minute briefing of what happened on Lucha Underground. I don't think there's an audience for it with my audience. But I guess it's too late now. I don't know how many episodes they're in. They're probably in like the fucking 9th, 10th episode, 11th episode of Lucha Underground this season. So I think there's 40 episodes this season. So I think that boat has long sailed. But Pentagon and Phoenix, man, listen, I'd love to see them in WWE. I kind of had a feeling that their Lucha Underground contracts were going to be a determining factor in where they go. Like I said, I thought Lucha Underground was going to kind of abolish that because it is kind of shitty for the talent. They are working Lucha Underground. They're getting paid by Lucha Underground. They are with Impact Wrestling. They're in MLW. So it's like that. It's not like they're having difficulty finding work. But it is what it is, man. You know, WWE wants everybody for the sake of wanting everybody. It's like, oh, hey, Ma, can you take me to Toys R Us? No more Toys R Us. Can you take me to the toy store? And the kid wants this. And he's going to pick one favorite toy, and then he's going to put the fucking other 15 that he bought, or his mother bought, in the fucking bin collecting dust until he just mysteriously one day has, a feel for that toy and starts playing with it. That's what WWE does. They're hoarding wrestlers. And it's not really cool. I don't mind if they go to NXT. I don't mind if anybody goes to NXT. NXT is the best thing right now in the United States. Simple as that. It's very difficult to argue that fact when we got takeovers that are getting better every fucking major pay-per-view weekend, and Triple H really just babying his talent and showing you that attention to detail does matter in professional wrestling. And they don't make you feel like a dummy. But I'd love to see Phoenix and Pentagon in WWE, but apparently it's not going to happen. It was reported that WWE has shown a lot of interest, but at this point, nothing is happening in that direction soon, says Meltzer. It was also noted that both guys have started making commitments to indie promoters for next year as well. Now, it was reported that they halted taking any independent bookings. And now Meltzer is saying that the commitments are back on. Who the fuck knows what to believe? The renewed rumors that came from MLW teasing something on their Twitter. I believe Phoenix and Pentagon are their tag team champions. MLW teasing something on their Twitter was actually an angle that they were playing out on their television show where Selena De La Renta said she would be talking to Hunter, or has been talking to Hunter all week, and had a deal for them if they would take English language classes and possibly change up their gimmicks. So Pentagon and Phoenix Rumors are squashed, people. I will not be mentioning it anymore until I see that fucking crazy lunatic in NXT. Moving on here, man. You talk about a fucking political agenda. Holy shit. You talk about Charlotte being the Roman Reigns of the women's division. You talk about Roman Reigns just giving you that nauseous feeling every week on WWE television. My friend Jesse, who we did the podcast at Podcast Row, he was on Off the Script with me on All In Weekend. He said, you talk about the Roman Reigns of the women's division, you haven't seen anything yet. And it's very difficult to argue his stance. Dwayne Johnson's daughter begins training at the WWE Performance Center. Yeah, she's going to have a really difficult time succeeding in the WWE. Just another name to the fucking list of names pushing Sasha Banks and everybody else in the revolution down the ladder. The NOI family, for years, have had a stranglehold or a stronghold on professional wrestling in the United States. The Samoans formed a blood brother connection with Peter Maivia, grandfather of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and has spawned some extremely talented performers since. Three-time WWF Tag Team Champions, the Wild Samoans, Afa and Sika, the latter whose children include Roman Reigns, who were the two who made a name for themselves in the company in the 1980s and have been referenced in recent promos by Paul Heyman when Reigns was feuding with Brock Lesnar. Other members of the Samoan dynasty include the Usos and their father Rikishi, the late Yokozuna, Nia Jax, the great Umaga, and the list goes on and on, man. Umaga was fucking awesome. My God, was Umaga awesome, man. Jesus Christ. Miss him. There is a theory. This is no theory. This is 100% factual information. There's no theory. It's no conspiracy. This is a theory. It's like the NOI family has made a pact with Satan. They are in with the wrestling dynasty known as WWE. Now, there is a fact that if you're part of the family, you are guaranteed success in WWE, as Vince McMahon respects them so much. After all, it would explain the numerous tag team titles for the Usos and the constant nauseating push of Roman Reigns to try and get him over as a babyface when indeed he is a failure, creatively and character-wise. The Samoan clan in WWE is set to expand, though, if reports are to be believed. As per sources, Pro Wrestling Sheet is reporting that The Rock's daughter, Simone Johnson, has been training at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando at the age of just 17 years old. 17. Johnson expressed her interest last year in following her father's footsteps, and it seems like she's starting early to chase her dream with Zelina Vega, now on SmackDown Live, stating on Lillian Garcia's Chasing Glory podcast that the two had become very close. Not everyone's kids are cut out for the business, but it certainly helps if you have some skills. Randy Orton has done fairly well for himself, especially after the legendary career of his father, Cowboy Bob Orton. Now, only time will tell whether or not Simone has what it takes to succeed in the WWE, but with her father being The Rock, she is pretty much guaranteed success in WWE. Now, 17 years old. So, if she gets to be as great as we all expect her to be, because I don't think this is going to be a failed endeavor at all. By the time she gets to 20, 21, she'll probably be in NXT. She'll probably get marinated in NXT a little bit, and then she'll get called up just like Charlotte was, and then we're off to the races. You know, so there you go. You talk about the Roman Reigns of the women's division being Charlotte. Listen, honey, or listen, goons. This is Charlotte's time to be Romanized, and then when Charlotte kind of, gets to that point where, yeah, we've had enough for her. She's had 17, 18, 19, 20 different fucking title reigns, which, according to some goons in the community, makes her a great champion. I don't know. I mean, Ric Flair, how many times he held that championship? How many different times? 16? Right? He's lost it 15 other fucking times. To me, Charlotte hasn't had one memorable title reign. Not one. It's what you do in that title reign that makes it memorable, not the amount of titles that you win. She has done nothing memorable with that title. She only has that title because she's a Flair. Simple as that. I could think of 3 or 4 other women on WWE television right now worthy of a title reign, more so than Charlotte. I could think of other women in NXT that I'd much rather see besides Charlotte. This is going to be one of those things that is just unavoidable. Dwayne Johnson's daughter is going to be in the WWE. She's going to have massive success. And being that the WWE, loves to juggle the balls of Dwayne Johnson every time he's got a free opening, let's bring him on in. Dwayne Johnson doesn't need the WWE anymore. The WWE certainly needs Dwayne Johnson to just hang on and cling on to that old nostalgia feeling and generate a rating for 1 week and sell some WrestleMania subscriptions to the network. So obviously they're going to bow down and do whatever Dwayne Johnson wants. If Dwayne Johnson wants his daughter in NXT, with the blink of an eye, it'll happen. If Dwayne Johnson wants his daughter to succeed in WWE and be the next big thing, boom. He don't even have to ask. WWE is going to bow down as if Dwayne Johnson's some fucking unearthly god. Ridiculous. So get ready. She's 17 years old. Give her 5 years. Give her 5 years. If I'm still here, if I have not gone insane, and I have not been admitted to the Ambrose Asylum, I'll be covering Simone Johnson. And we'll be going over her Roman Reigns-esque qualities on WWE Monday Night Raw. Moving on here, people. Being that we got that out of the way, I have news on WWE being very impressed with Andrade, Cien, Almas. Now, I love Almas. I think Almas is one of the best wrestlers in the world. I think Almas has been, he's been one of the best things to come up from NXT in a very, very long time. I hated how WWE kind of put him on the shelf with nothing to do. He could have been in NXT and still giving us great matches with Gargano and Aleister Black and Adam Cole and Ricochet, etc., etc. But they brought him up just to take him away from NXT for whatever reason. Now he's starting to hit his stride, and apparently Vince McMahon is very impressed with Andrade, Cien, Almas. Drew McIntyre and AOP went to Raw. Sanity and Almas went to SmackDown Live. Interestingly enough, according to Fightful.com and Sean Ross Sapp, Vince McMahon is keen to give a big singles push to Andrade, Cien, Almas. Backstage sources have confirmed that the website that Vince McMahon is very impressed with Almas, suggesting that he's next in line for a massive push. It's easy to see why Vince McMahon would love Almas. So, there is a God out there somewhere. There is a God looking down on WWE. Now, I understand that Zelina Vega is absolutely stunning. That may be one of the many reasons why Vince McMahon loves Andrade, Cien, Almas. Also, his background and the fact that SmackDown and WWE in general wants another great Latin American star because Alberto El Retard was a failure. And if you guys hear some kind of grinding in the background, that's just Kevin Dunn, cutting wood. There's some type of weird fucking construction going on in the back. But anyway, there is a wrestling god looking down, and Vince McMahon, deep inside, still has a knack for professional wrestling. It's tough to see. It's tough to see, the good on WWE television. Andrade Cien Almas is one of those things. And it's not difficult to see why Vince McMahon would love Andrade Cien Almas. The guy is fucking fantastic at what he does. So, somewhere up above, the wrestling gods are shining down on Vince McMahon, and he still knows what good wrestling is. Every now and then. Most times he doesn't. But in this case, he does. Now, he's had great matches with Daniel Bryan. He's had great matches with AJ Styles. 2 matches with Bryan, 1 with Styles. 2 feuds I'd love to see again in the near future. Of course, Almas isn't alone. He's always accompanied by the lovely Zelina Vega. And the pair have taken SmackDown by storm. Together, they teamed up against Lana and Rusev on the SummerSlam pre-show, which for a wrestler means that, they're not on the main show. It's kind of a slap in the face to Almas, or a guy like Almas, especially being called up from NXT and just thriving there as NXT champion. Yeah, we're going to put you on the pre-show. And you're going to wrestle in front of darkness and people filtering in from the outside. There may be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 just kind of there with your match, but it's okay. Bullshit. Now, after picking up a win against Rusev, it's not clear where Cien and Zelina will go next. Obviously, they came out of SummerSlam hot, so it would be a shame if they were to get wasted now. Thankfully, it doesn't look like that's going to happen, especially now we know that McMahon is a fan of their work. Vince McMahon has always had his eye on looking for the next big star in the company. He has the political agenda of Roman Reigns. I wanted to think of something just smart and sarcastic to think, but, I can't even call this guy a name anymore. It's just the same old shit. Roman Reigns. He's got Roman Reigns as the top babyface on Monday Night Raw. Miscast and portrayed terribly. AJ Styles on SmackDown Live. But there will always be a need for top heels for his top babyfaces to fight against. Now, the Barn Burner Fired Up podcast notes that Vince McMahon is so into Andrade Cien Almas that he might even position Almas in the main event spot at WrestleMania. Kind of early to be thinking that. I would not hold that up as being legit at all yet. They say, and I quote, Vince McMahon is in love with them. Expect huge things. They even heard a rumor that Vince McMahon may even make Andrade Cien Almas win the Royal Rumble. Wow. I have no issues with that whatsoever. I think that's fantastic. Now, I don't know if Almas main eventing WrestleMania is a thing we should all be getting excited about now. I mean, things change by the minute in this company. But the fact that Vince McMahon is so up on Andrade Cien Almas, I'm taking that as a good thing. That's the only thing I'm taking away from this. He's in the good eyes and the good graces of Vince McMahon. Good. That means they have plans for him. May not be immediately, but at least right now. Winning the Royal Rumble would clearly strap a rocket to Almas and send him right to the top of the card. WWE is always looking for the next big Latin American star, like I mentioned. Apparently, Vince sees something big in the former NXT champion. I like it. I don't know about him winning the Royal Rumble, but I like it. Let's start off small. Clearly, he's not going to be in and around the main event yet. Why not give us Shinsuke Nakamura versus Andrade Cien Almas? Why not have Almas take the United States Championship from Shinsuke Nakamura? I think that would do wonders for him. I think that'd be great. If Vince McMahon is so high on Almas, and he's going to be featured every week, more so than Nakamura, it would do good for him. It would do good for the title. Because right now, they are completely swinging and missing with Nakamura. And right now, Nakamura's heel turn is being wasted, and it's looking like a terrible mistake. It looked good for the time being as AJ. Now, with the landscape of SmackDown Live and the fact that they have no baby faces outside of Bryan and Styles and Jeff Hardy, who's kind of mixed in with Randy Orton, and Jeff Hardy, who might not even be on television if he kills himself on Sunday night, they only have 2 baby faces. Jeff Hardy being a distant third if he doesn't kill himself in Hell in a Cell. So maybe making Nakamura a babyface again would do better. Maybe now that he's not feuding with AJ Styles, I don't know. What the fuck do I know? I'm just some idiot who, quote-unquote, lives in his mother's basement who doesn't know wrestling. Fuck off. Anyway, the news on Almas sounds good to me. I love Almas. I've been expecting him to just pick up where he left off in NXT. It's taken about 6 fucking months, but it looks like we are getting there with Almas and Vega. I am going to be referencing Almas and Vega in just a second. This is actually a ridiculous story. This is a ridiculous story. Now, Renee Young is on commentary for Monday Night Raw. Renee Young, and the fact that she was moved to the announce desk to replace Coachman, who is a clown. Coachman is now on the pre-show panel. Good for him. Good for him. He can spread his political garbage over there, where I don't watch. I have to watch Monday Night, and I have to listen to the voices that control this show. But Renee Young moving to the announce desk was met with a ton of positive feedback. Now, clearly, we all love Renee Young. I think Renee Young is fucking awesome. I think Renee Young is a beautiful lady. I think she has a great personality. She has charisma. I love what she does. I love what she's done with the WWE. I think she's great. But Renee Young moving to the commentary desk is, right now, I guess you could kind of say she's going through growing pains. Now she's removed from doing interviews, and now she's playing with the big boys. She's got to grow into that role. Nobody expects Renee Young to just go there and become the next Bobby the Brain Heenan. Nobody expects her to go there and be the next Gorilla Monsoon. I'm not expecting that. I would have never put that on her. That is a huge fucking weight on her shoulders. I would never do that. But for the people who are claiming that Renee Young is great and she's doing a fucking marvelous job, you're fooling yourself. You're jumping way too many guns here. Let the woman get her feet wet. I watch this show and dissect this show for a fucking living. I mentioned this a week ago. I do play-by-play commentary for House of Glory. I am still going through growing pains. I still fuck up. I still beat myself up in my car on the way home from the venue. What I should have said and didn't say then. What I could have did better, looking back on my work for that night. I am not anywhere near where I want to be. People love what I do. People give me praise. I got some of the wrestlers who love what I do. I don't love what I do. I never love what I do because I'm such a perfectionist. Now, I also don't have Vince McMahon yelling in my fucking headset for 3 hours, but I would never put myself through that. That's why my goal is NXT. I love to take either Nigel or Moro's spot. That's just my goal. Or Matt Stryker on Lucha Underground has a nice cozy job too. I love it. He's fucking great at what he does too. Him and Vampiro are one of my favorite duos in wrestling, outside of Moro and Nigel. Percy's gotten better, but the main roster stuff is insufferable. But Renee Young, anybody that says Renee Young is doing a marvelous job, clearly is just, a shill. They don't know what they're talking about. I'm not saying that she can't be great, but she hasn't been good. She hasn't been good. I'm glad she's there. I'm glad she replaced fucking Coachman and his nauseating commentary. And I think Renee and Corey have a nice little dynamic. And I think everybody respects Renee Young more so than they did Coachman. But let her grow into the role. Do not give her praise. Do not give her a job well done when she really isn't doing all that well. The commentary on the Mae Young Classic is god-awful. God-awful. And I don't mean that in the bad way. I'm looking at it as a positive. It's better than what Jim Ross and Lita did the year before, but it's still bad. It's still bad. Beth Phoenix and Renee Young and Michael Cole, there's no fluidity there. There's no chemistry there. Most of the times on Monday Night Raw, Renee Young is silent for some of the bigger moments. She just lets Michael Cole and Corey Graves take advantage of it and take control. Which I guess is a good thing because I wish WWE would go back to 2-man commentaries. 3-man commentaries is not fun. We did that at House of Glory. It's not fun. Stepping on each other's toes. It's not really a good night when that happens. Though we kind of limited that and we didn't really step on each other's toes when we called the Austin Aries match at House of Glory High Intensity 7. But Renee Young and her move to the commentary desk has been a long time coming. So I guess as soon as they put Coachman in there and they heard that this guy sucked so badly within the first couple weeks, they were already planning his replacement. Swiley thought backstage that Renee Young was better for the role than John the Coachman ever since he sat in for an episode on the Go Home show, or ever since she sat in for an episode on the Go Home show of SummerSlam Monday Night Raw. So, the move was pretty much an outright switch of Young and Coach. NXT's Kayla Braxton, who is much better in a interviewer role than she is ring announcing. She is god-awful at ring announcing. I could do a better job. The ring announcer's job is to get someone excited for the match. Everybody, I swear to God, everybody, you want a female ring announcer? You look no further than Melissa Santos. I'm sorry. She gets you fucking pumped for a match like no other. I don't even like JoJo. I think JoJo is, I didn't even like Lillian Garcia doing the thing. She was better than these women nowadays, but you want a female ring announcer? You look no further than Melissa Santos and Lucha Underground. Kayla Braxton was moved up to Monday Night Raw in order to do the backstage interview segments that Young used to do on the show a little while ago as well. Therefore, Coach will only be on the kickoff show and not doing anything backstage, as was apparent last week on Raw. Sabu. Let me transition into this. Yes, the homicidal, genocidal, suicidal Sabu. Death-defying Sabu. The guy is a ECW legend. And that is pretty much it. An ECW legend. Throughout his career, he has become one of the most prominent figures in ECW, in wrestling, for his hardcore ways, his extreme ways. He's a multi-time champion and ECW heavyweight champion on 2 different occasions. That ends there. All of his accomplishments are now wiped out. At least for the time being, because right now, Sabu is sitting somewhere, and someone just has a fucking, one of those fucking dolls plucking pins into him, giving this guy fucking bad luck somewhere, or ill-timed fate, somewhere. Sabu, 53 years old, has been involved in a number of controversies over the past year in regards to his behavior on social media. The latest incident is based on Renee Young being promoted to a full-time member of the Raw announce team alongside Corey Graves and Michael Cole. Sabu tweeted the following remarks, and then the good old tweet and delete came into play. He did the good old tweet and delete. He says, and I quote, and I'm sorry if I offend anybody here, I do not use this language anymore. I used to when I used to play Call of Duty back in the early days of YouTube, but I was a young idiot. Now, he said this, and again, I don't mean to offend anybody. I quote, "She is the first non-fag, but she is one of many cocksuckers." End quote. It's very difficult for me not to laugh at the stupidity that people put on social media. I really don't. I mean, what goes through someone's head? No, I tweet things during Monday Night Raw, but I don't ever call anybody a homosexual slur. She is the first non-fag, but she is one of many cocksuckers. His comment is both sexist and homophobic. Now, clearly, Sabu is not sitting well with the pro wrestling community right now. And I don't think WWE is going to be inviting him to any anniversary shows or Hall of Fames or anything to do with WWE. I don't know if Renee Young has seen this or commented on it, but apparently he was attacked by several wrestling fans and then soon deleted the tweet. So, Sabu, what we learned here, folks, this is Social Media 101. Please do not tweet anything that you will regret later. And Sabu is a fucking asshole. That's all I have to say about that. I will give this guy no further airtime on my show. I love Renee Young. I hope she does a great job. But for the people who are proclaiming she's God's gift to announcing, scale it back, please. Moving on here, man. Moving on here. Speaking of special events. Reason why Edge is denying being at SmackDown 1000. as previously reported, as I got some fucking guy cutting wood behind me. Maybe I should go visit him, man. Why am I watching this podcast when I could be having wood? I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's fucking loud here. And now he just stopped. Maybe he heard me. Maybe he heard Kevin Dunn's teeth laughing along the way. Reason why Edge is denying being at SmackDown 1000. As previously reported, Mike Johnson, a PW Insider, reported that Edge would be appearing at the upcoming SmackDown 1000 show in October. Edge later revealed on Twitter that he had no idea that he would be appearing on the show. Mike Johnson discussed Edge's tweet on this week's PW Elite Audio, or PW Insider's Elite Audio, and is sticking to his original claim that Edge will be on the show, and the reason for the former WWE superstar denying the reports is because WWE has to make the announcement first. I quote from Mike Johnson, "I love how Edge said, 'news to me,' when we reported that he would be appearing on the show. All right, buddy, let's see what happens that night." And I already see people asking if I'm going to rescind what I wrote. No, because what I wrote is true. He's not going to say anything until WWE announces it. Come on now. None of them are going to say anything until WWE does. End quote. Edge will be at SmackDown 1000. I mean, Beth Phoenix, according to rumors, is going to be at Evolution. Edge and Christian have season 2 coming to the network of ENC's Show of Awesomeness, or whatever the fuck that show is called. And SmackDown is Edge's home. Edge and SmackDown go hand in hand like meatball and spaghetti. Pepperoni and pizza. Cheese and anything. Cream and coffee. All right, enough of the analogies. Anyway, Wrestling Observer Newsletter took it a step further. There was also someone else who is a SmackDown faithful who said, well, I didn't get no invite. They shunned me again. Batista said that he didn't even get invited to SmackDown 1000. Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer Newsletter noted that Batista might have jumped the gun on tweeting against SmackDown 1000 because customarily, WWE really doesn't book that kind of show until weeks out for a few reasons. Not only do they need to plan the show, but they also want to try and keep the news sites from picking up on bookings to break the word early. They want it to be a surprise. He says, and I quote, "A lot of people in that situation are called late in the game because they don't plan on the shows, so far in advance. And they plan the shows only a few weeks out. Also, further ahead of time, they invite people, and the more likely it is the news gets out before WWE can release it first." End quote. Edge denied his place on SmackDown 1000, which is what you want to do if you desire a surprise. But with his schedule, with Vikings, I think he's still on that show, Vikings, and his other projects and appearances, it might have been necessary to nail him down this early. So, SmackDown 1000, I don't know what they have planned. I've said it once, and I'm going to say it again, as long as it's not booked in the same way as Raw 25. That shit was terrible. I think SmackDown 1000 is going to be a lot better. Edge coming back, one of my favorites of all time. Batista, I'd love to see Batista back in the WWE for one more run. A run that is actually booked correctly this time, and not having him be at the wrong place at the wrong time like it was in 2014. But I'd love to see both of these guys back on SmackDown 1000. And SmackDown 1000, man, I would book this show as a major pay-per-view with a few comedy skits here and there, but I would book it as a pay-per-view on the USA Network. I would book it as a big, big, big wrestling show. Yes, we're celebrating SmackDown 1000, but listen, SmackDown still has shit that they need to do. Okay, it's happening in the middle of October. Maybe get some Survivor Series build in there. Maybe give us some great title matches, some great wrestling on that show. Hopefully, WWE doesn't make the same mistakes with Raw 25 like they did, with SmackDown 1000. We're going to break up the show, man. Barbershop window. Let me get my plugs in here because I have to do so. Actually, I'm contracted with some of these people to do so. That's why you hear it every fucking episode. Summer Scam and every other design, 17 in total, on barbershopwindow.com/summer bshop20. Use bshop20. That is your code for 20% off. Go buy your t-shirts, man. I always say it, and I believe it wholeheartedly. We have some of the best designs in the podcasting game as far as merchandise goes. It's barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. You know you're getting a quality product because they are affiliated with Pro Wrestling Tees. Harry's is a fine sponsor and a friend of the podcast, man. A lot of people are checking out Harry's because, damn, I look good when I use Harry's, and I want you guys to look good as well. Harrys.com/script. They're going to give you a free trial of their shave set because they believe so much that this is going to be the best shave of your life. They want you to try it and feel it and use it for yourself, man. They want you to experience Harry's. And they are so confident in this that they're going to give you a free trial shave set for free. All you guys have to do is pay the $2 or $3 shipping and handling, and it'll be right in your mailbox, right at your doorstep within days. You're going to get a razor blade, a razor handle, foaming shave gel that soothes, hydrates, and smells fucking fantastic. And you're going to get a protective blade case as well if you guys like to travel. Harrys.com/script. And believe me, I never put my name to something. I will never give you guys anything that I don't use and I don't believe in. I will never put my name to something I do not believe in. I believe in Harry's, and I know for a fact that once you use Harry's, you're going to go to Harrys.com and you're going to get the shave butter. You're going to get the body wash. You're going to get the bar soap. You're going to get everything that Harry's has in their line because they are that damn good. Harrys.com/script. Go get your trial and try it today. Audible. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. It's been a slow month of September, man. I'm hoping it picks up back during the holiday season, but Audible, sponsoring the podcast, still going strong, good friends of the show. They want to give you guys 1 month free of their service and 1 free audiobook of your choice. Please go and try Audible, man. It's a great way to support the show. Over 200,000 audiobooks to choose from, a lot of which are wrestling related. And if you guys don't like the wrestling related stuff, if you guys want science fiction, crime, romance, politics, sports, wrestling, it's all there for you, man. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. And here's the best part. If you guys don't like the service, if you guys say, it's not for me, you guys can get to cancel 30 days in the trial. Within the trial period, you can cancel, and you're going to get to keep your audiobook for free. So audibletrial.com/offthescript. And if you guys have already signed up, tell a friend, tell a coworker, tell a classmate. Listen, support my favorite podcaster, support JD, support Off the Script. Try Audible. He's giving you guys a free audiobook for free. Download Android and iPhone devices. Good to go, man. Works anywhere and everywhere. audibletrial.com/offthescript. And if you guys want to support the show via Patreon, patreon.com/JD from NY 206. Early access to Off the Script when and where available. And Off the Script Retro exclusively on patreon.com. Thank you guys so very much. Continuing the show, man. Continuing the show. 2 more stories here and we'll get the hell out of here. Backstage reason for Carmella's mysterious babyface turn on SmackDown Live. Continuing with the SmackDown theme. Carmella drew a ton of heat on herself as SmackDown Women's Champion. A ton of heat. She was god-awful as champion. She had a short reign with the championship, with the title, and it really didn't do anything to enhance the title nor enhance Carmella. Even before that, she was Miss Money in the Bank, and fans loved to hate her attitude. I actually was a fan of Carmella when she won Money in the Bank, and then all of a sudden, she just turned into this insufferable character who can't wrestle, who screamed as if she was in a fucking porno with Johnny Sins, Simon Miller. But now it seems the Princess of Staten Island has suddenly turned a new leaf. Just like that, sweep it under the rug, they won't notice. R-Truth and Carmella are going to be a team on the next season of the Mixed Match Challenge, so they pair the two as a unit on television. This meant a surprising babyface turn for Carmella, and a person that fans were booing out of the building just a month ago. Brian Alvarez brought this up on the Wrestling Observer Live, the sudden babyface turn by Carmella, where he tried to make sense of some of WWE's logic. He is attempting the unattemptable. He is attempting the impossible. I quote here from Alvarez. Her babyface turn was she decided that she was going to go with R-Truth. That's not a babyface turn. That's randomly deciding she's a babyface now. There was nothing done to turn her babyface. So Carmella is a babyface now. Her and R-Truth are in the Mix Match Challenge. All those Mella is money, all those things, storyline-wise, they did, are now out the window. Only time will tell if Carmella will transition herself back to a bad girl on television. But as long as she's following R-Truth to the ring asking, what's up? It doesn't seem likely. Yeah, WWE, what's up? Can we get an explanation as to why she turned babyface and along the way ruined the SmackDown Live women's division, brought zero prestige to the title? You fed Asuka to Carmella, ultimately to turn her babyface with no explanation, all for a show that goes 20 minutes on Facebook Watch. When we hand out Stupid Idiot Awards, WWE Creative will get the unanimous vote. I don't understand it. I don't even give a shit. I don't care. I just love bringing up the fact that this company is fucking stupid. I relish in the fact that they make a mistake and I call them out for it. Yet they do nothing wrong in their eyes. This is blatant fucking stupidity. This is taking their fans for granted and taking their fans for fools. No one will notice. Everybody loves R-Truth. We'll pair Carmella with R-Truth. It'll go over well. And everybody will forget that you fed Asuka to Carmella. Fuck you, creative. Finally, guys, we're going to end with this. Remember when I mentioned just a little bit ago I was going to kind of reference Almas and Zelina Vega? Well, there is speculation on Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley on the pairing. Who came up with the idea? Why WWE is all of a sudden pairing 205 Live talent with main roster talent? And why creative doesn't know if Lio Rush is on 205 Live anymore? I don't believe I just said that. Creative doesn't know if Lio Rush is on 205 Live anymore. Now, as previously reported several weeks ago, Paul Heyman has been working behind the scenes, helping out with production and talents. He was reportedly helping Roman Reigns in his feud with Brock Lesnar and scripting his promos and helping him with promos. Mike Johnson speculated on the latest installment of the PW Insider Elite Audio that it was actually Paul Heyman's idea to pair up Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush. I quote from Mike Johnson, I was actually believed that Lio Rush being put with Bobby Lashley is probably Paul Heyman pitch, because Paul Heyman has always been pretty big on the hype man, and Lio Rush certainly fills the role of hype man. So I would be shocked if this wasn't a Paul Heyman thing. End quote. WWE Creative apparently doesn't know if Lio Rush will remain on 205 Live or not, now that he's been paired with Bobby Lashley on Monday Night Raw. Mike Johnson discussed the pairing on this week's installment of PW Elite Insider Audio, and it's said by Mike Johnson, it remains to be seen exactly what the company does with him now that he's on the main roster with Lashley. I quote, that's to be determined. No one seems to know the answer to that, including people on the creative team. So, these people go hour by hour, and they don't know what's going on. They figured, well, Triple H is in charge of 205 Live. Let's fuck up his show. His show is getting too much praise amongst the internet darlings. Let's kill 205 Live and take away Lio Rush. One of the best young talents in the fucking world. Let's not have him wrestle, and we'll pair him with someone who has zero charisma. Lio Rush has charisma. Bobby Lashley does not. Bobby Lashley does not need Lio Rush. He needs someone like Paul Heyman. Bobby Lashley does not need a babyface run. He needs a heel run with Paul Heyman. Simple as that. You want a perfect pairing? There you go. A perfect pairing is not going to consist of Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush. I'm sorry. Lio Rush steps foot in a Monday Night Raw ring, the guy is buried forever. The guy will be treated as a joke. He's soaking wet 150 pounds. He will go nowhere. That's just a fact. Now, as seen on weekly WWE programming for 2 weeks now, WWE's been using 205 Live talents like Drake Maverick and Lio Rush as managers on the show. Now, Sean Ross Sapp is actually reporting that the reason behind this new movement to use talents on Raw from 205 Live is because there is a push to implement more managers on the program in an effort to revive floundering acts. They want to bring in managers. They want to bring in more managers for floundering acts. The report also mentioned that the members of 205 Live are booked far less than a half dozen dates per month, and this is being seen as an effort to maximize returns on investment in the brand. They want to get their money's worth for these talents. They're paying them, and they feel like they're making too much money for the days that they are legitimately working. As previously reported, the belief is that Paul Heyman is behind the pairing of Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley. Floundering acts. They want to revive floundering acts. Whose fault is that? Why are these acts floundering? Because you put them in that situation. You put them in that position. Why has Bobby Lashley been a fucking creative, absolute fucking nightmare on Monday Night Raw? That's your fault, WWE. This guy has done zero on Monday Night Raw. Mike Keurig, this week alone, and this is the second time I reference my beautiful Keurig machine. My Keurig machine this week got more work than Bobby Lashley has done on WWE Raw in 6 months. Now you want to revive floundering acts. How about treating the talent the way that they should be treated coming up from NXT, like AOP and the Revival? You know, I don't see why Lio Rush is going to revive Bobby Lashley. I don't see this going anywhere. People are shitting all over Drake Maverick and AOP. You want to put Drake Maverick with AOP, but then you want to take away Paul Ellering. Did Paul Ellering not want to travel? Or was it true, what I reported last week, that Vince McMahon thought Paul Ellering was too old? You want to revive floundering acts with managers now and people in a managerial role. I'm all for managers, but they got to fit the part. They got to fit the part. Having Drake Maverick stand there dressed in fucking Riot gear isn't really doing anything for me. Drake Maverick is a talker. Drake Maverick is a great mind. Put him in a suit and have him guide these monsters looking sharp. He don't need to dress in fucking Riot gear as if he's going Halloween trick-or-treating. Same thing with Lio Rush. Is Lio Rush going to work Monday Night Raw and 205 Live? Is Lio Rush going to compete on Monday Night Raw? I don't understand this at all. This is just mind-boggling to me. Listen, if it's a Paul Heyman idea, listen. It either succeeds with Heyman or it fails with Heyman. If Mike Johnson is correct, I hope it takes off. I'd love to see Lio Rush get a more prominent role on WWE television. I'm very high on him. I'd like to see Bobby Lashley used in a fucking dominating role. I don't think he's a babyface. I think he should be pushed as a heel. But that's just me. But I do. Out of everything else, it's just laughable that WWE Creative doesn't know anything about Lio Rush. They don't know whether he's here or there. But as far as managers on television, it's like WWE goes through these phases. They wake up one week, managers are garbage. We're gonna exile all managers. And then the next week, we want to start using managers. We got nobody else, but we'll use 205 Live talent as managers. Because I want managers on TV, damn it. I want good TV, damn it. That's what I want. We haven't gotten good TV all summer. And I don't think we will get good TV going on into the shit show that is Evolution and Survivor Series. That's just me. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so much for another episode of Off the Script. If you did indeed enjoy this, please hit that thumbs up. 1,500 thumbs up is the goal. Let's do it. 1,500 thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. audibletrial.com/offthescript. barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. harrys.com/script. And if you guys want to support through the Patreon, patreon.com/offthescript. YouTube.com/JD from NY206. I'm getting out of here, guys. There will be no podcast on Sunday. I will be back with part 3 on Monday. All I want to worry about is Hell in a Cell, because I'm going to need my rest. I'm going to need my full concentration, because we're going to be given 4 hours of complete garbage. So Monday I'll be back. Sunday night I'll see you for the Hell in a Cell official review. Until then, take care. If you guys need any backup on Hell in a Cell, if you guys need to know what's going on with Hell in a Cell, if you guys have not been watching the product, which I wouldn't blame you at that point, Off the Script Part 1 is in the annotation that you see in the top right corner. Thank you guys so very much, and I will see you all for Hell in a Cell on Sunday night. Enjoy your Saturdays, and I'll see you for Reigns and Strowman inside Hell in a Cell. I'll talk to you later.